what is it that Utah did? They go from 5-0, now they've lost 3 straight. Is there anything that you saw against Utah that they were sort of maybe exposed, or anything that anybody picked apart?
Well, I think Utah's really good, number one. And, it's the winner never gets the credit. The loser gets the blame, and, picking out all the things that went wrong. And Cal is an exceptional football team. And they've played well, really well at times against those teams, and come up short on the scoreboard against 3 really good teams. And so, we have our own problems that we're worried about and trying to focus on.
Aside from the win and loss stat, what are maybe 2 or 3 things on each side of the ball that you guys kind of focus on in game prepping to look at?
Well, turnovers and scoring. Turning the ball over defensively, taking care of the ball offensively, and then whether it's us on offense or us in special teams of trying to score the football.
You don't talk about outside influences. Is getting back on the winning side at home qualify in that regard? Is that something you address with guys like, hey, let's defend our home turf?
I've heard that brought up, and I think I mentioned something about that last week, maybe of for whatever reason we haven't played very, very complete at home, and that's something we certainly want to do and certainly represent for the fans. Absolutely.
Yesterday, Coach Neal compared Jared Goff to Joe Montana. Is there anyone that you would kind of compare Jared Goff to?
Joe Montana. No. Was number 16, so that probably is there. And, he's accurate, he's tough, he's smart. Probably runs a little better than Joe right now. Joe's older now, so he probably doesn't run quite as well. But no, he's a really good player, and again, the complementary unit that he has around him is exceptional. The running backs, those wideouts make play after play after play that are kind of a 50-50 ball is the new phrase, and they make about 90% of them. And so they're just really athletic, and he's accurate. He gives them a chance to make those make a play on the ball and use their athleticism. And so he's a very good player.
Speaking of number 16, so I think Morgan is 16. What does Morgan have to do this year and in the spring to kind of get in the mix next year?
That's just not play better. Be more efficient, and that's everybody. It's not certainly the quarterback gets a bunch of focus, and he has gotten a lot of focus. And now is a time of year for those young guys, those redshirt guys, or maybe guys that are in his realm that they're redshirted and now they're live, so to speak, in terms of being able to play, but aren't. Now is a huge time for those guys to really put their foot on the gas and improve and keep competing, even though they're essentially scout team players right now. And so hopefully he's continuing to keep his eye on the ball that way.
In the old days, programs would develop guys and they'd play juniors or seniors for the first time. Is he maybe a developmental guy that we could see improving this?
Well, that's what's so unfortunate is whether it's the media, now of course this group, fine people, but before a kid's even on campus, the other guy should transfer, at any position, and it's just so unrealistic in the real world, and so. He's got a ton of talent. He's got a lot of stuff available, as do many guys in those situations. Whether it's, Jaylen Brown at receiver is a guy that's played a little, certainly played a little bit more than Morgan, but a guy that we have huge hopes for, and then a couple other guys at wideout, or Malik Lovett. Some of these guys that you see moving around every day that just again have to just keep their eye on the future and know that it's all a huge process.
What is Justin Collins able to do right now for you guys?
Man, he's a good-looking dude. Unfortunately, obviously, has missed a ton of time. He was a guy in spring. If you would have made me bet on the impact player of the defense this season, I would have put my chips on him. And unfortunately, wasn't able to do that. But he's working like heck to get back.
Is he able to take part in some kind of practice, or is he still
in
just
some kind of practice? Some kind of practice is a good definition. Yeah, he looks fantastic. He's lifting. He's a lot closer than I think they thought he would be at this point, but he's still a ways.
Say that. So
yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Cal's down there roasting Jack said, do you guys have any beef jerky on or bear jerky on like the menu this week?
No jerky. No cured meats. I learned that cured meat is bad for you, so we're out of the cured meat business.
I had a fan ask me, do you have bulletin board material? Do you guys have a bulletin board somewhere that you put bulletin board
It's all
material
digital.
on?
It's all digital. Yeah.